Hey, this is Matt with Alpha Analyst. In this video, we're going to cover why smart financial analysts typically avoid multitasking. However, we'll also cover why some forms of multitasking can be useful to you. So, before we start, what is multitasking? It's basically doing two things at the same time. This could be something as simple as walking and chewing gum, or it could be something more complicated, such as stopping to answer emails immediately as they arrive while you're trying to get done something that's relatively complex. Don't we need to do multitasking just as a part of modern day life? So today, it's true, there are so many more opportunities to multitask. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that we should. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, we just need to be smart about multitasking. What does the quote-unquote research about multitasking have to say? There's a professor, Nick Chatter, who's a behavioral scientist, and here's what he found. He found that humans have the ability to do two things at once if the tasks that they are doing are routine and relatively practiced. So think of it as if it's simple and it's easy to do, it's not that hard for humans to multitask. However, if the task is non-routine and it's complicated, multitasking doesn't exist. And in reality, what our brains are doing is basically just going back and forth between the two tasks relatively quickly. We're not really multitasking in the true sense of the word for complex things. Instead, we're simply going back and forth between the two complex tasks. To summarize, if you're trying to think about whether or not you should multitask, here is a good guide. If the task requires a significant amount of thought, and if it's pretty significant, it's generally a good idea to avoid multitasking. However, if the task does not require significant thought, and the significance is not very great, it's a great idea to consider multitasking. So if you're doing something that's very, very important, it's important that it's accurate, and you want to do a good job on it. So for that, you might not want to multitask. And at the same time, if significant thought is required, it's a good idea to avoid multitasking because you really want to be able to focus on it. And as the research shows, the human mind isn't really able to do two things at once if they're relatively complex. In contrast, if what you're looking to do does not require much thought and its significance is not very great, that could be a good situation in which you could multitask.
If you like this video, I think you would love the Financial Analysis Kit. It contains a video that goes over our top 10 favorite tricks in Microsoft Excel. It also contains 3 graphs in Excel that you can download, and it also has videos that go over how you can customize these graphs to meet your own personal needs. And finally, the kit contains a report on the one word that you can tell your boss that can supercharge your career. So how can you obtain your kit? Just go to aanalyst.com/kit, and you can type in your email address and access the kit and start using it today.